book lovers, it's Jenny at Julia Baby Jen's Reading Room, and this is my Beat the Heat Readathon update for days 9 through 11.
Busted!
Okay, so day 9, I started The Sun Dwellers by David Estes, and I read 122 pages out of this. I also started Pivot Point by Casey West, and I read 192 pages before it hit midnight. I also listened to the rest of Odd Thomas by Dean Koontz. I had an hour left, so I listened to it, and I cried at the end, and I just love this book. 5-star read, and it was just as good for a reread or an audiobook. And then after midnight on day 10, I finished Pivot Point, the last 149 pages. I just loved this book. 5-star read. Yeah, I read it all, I think, at once. I started it like, I don't know, 10 o'clock that night, and I stayed up until I finished it. So if you're planning on reading this, make sure you have time, because you will not want to put it down. It was so unbelievably good. I just loved it so much. So yeah, it was definitely worth the read. And now I have to wait until February for the sequel, which, I need it now. And then on day 10, I finished The Sun Dwellers by David Estes, which was 210 more pages, and I loved it. I read it all at once, and I read it incredibly fast because I just had to know what was going to happen and if certain people were going to die or not, and I was so invested in it by that point that yeah. So I have to write a review for this. This is 5-star read, by the way. I have to write a review. I'm probably going to go back this weekend and kind of reread the end of it again, because the last 100 pages I read so fast. It's kind of a blur. And then I started the audiobook of Tiger Lily by Jodi Lynn Anderson, and I do love this audiobook. The narrator's voice is very interesting. She has kind of a childlike voice, so the characters sound great with it. I listened to 45 minutes, which is about 30 pages, and so far I like it. And then I read The Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place by Mary Rose Wood while I was editing my Document Your Life for July video, which took a long time to edit. So in between, while I was waiting for my computer to do certain things, I read this book. So it was 267 pages, and I loved this book. It was so adorably cute, and I'm going to pick up the next 2 in the series, hopefully when I go to the library again. But yeah, this was just really good. And I read 62 more pages out of Inkheart. I'm getting into the really good part of the story, and I'm hoping to read some more today on this, because it's getting to the point where I really love this story. After day 10, I was going to start another book. I had I only have 2 library books that were on my stack still, and I didn't really feel like reading either one right this second. So I had my big stack of other books to read, and so I asked my Goodreads friends which they would vote for, and I had 2 votes for The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. So I decided to go ahead and start reading this, and I really do like it so far. I just love her writing. She just is. It's so different, and I love it. So I am about halfway through it. I'm on page 200. So I read the first 200 pages, and that's really all I read yesterday, which was kind of strange to me. That's all that I read, but it took me a while. It's not a quick read. Her language is so descriptive, and to get the full effect of the scenes and what's going on and the dramatic effect of it, I don't feel like I can read it real fast. So I'm kind of reading it kind of slow. Just because I want to really enjoy it and get that language. So, yeah, so it took me almost all day to read 200 pages. I started reading in the afternoon. Yesterday I was off from work, but the kids and I went to the park and kind of just had a fun day. Yesterday, just hanging out. I don't feel like I've done that enough with them lately, and school's going to start soon, so that was kind of my day. And then last night I read this, and then I watched Chimpanzee with my youngest daughter. We had it from the library, and I have to take it back today, so we thought we better watch it last night, and I cried like crazy. I don't know what it is lately. It seems like everything I do, read, watch, whatever, I'm cried. I don't know why. I don't usually cry that much, but lately it seems to, I'm reading and absorbing things that make me cry. So, yeah, I had to cry. Well, any movie like that, and I'm almost all of Disney nature movies are about a mother, whatever animal it is, and their babies. And as a mother, it just makes me bawl. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure just about any other mother would do the same thing. But yeah, poor little Oscar's little chimpanzee, and his mother dies, and so yeah, he's like almost dies because he's abandoned. And an older chimpanzee, I guess actually the leader of their little tribe, the male alpha, actually adopts Oscar, and it's so beautiful. What? Because it's not a normal thing for a male chimpanzee to adopt a cub. Sometimes females will if they don't have any other cubs, but um, or babies. I don't know what they call baby. I guess they call them babies. But in the tribe, all the other mothers already had a baby, so there was no one to take care of Oscar. And finally, the male alpha actually adopted him and put actually their tribe in danger because he was so busy taking care of Oscar that he neglected his duties as the alpha and defending their tribe against the other rival tribes. And it's a really interesting story. I just loved it. So did Tessa. And it just amazes me watching chimps because they're so human-like. It's very scary. I mean, at times there you can tell the difference, the animal difference, but like when they're playing around with tools and trying to crack open nuts and watching their hands and feet and their facial expressions, it's so much like humans. It's just amazing to me. So anyway, this movie, not totally off topic, but this movie was amazing. So if you haven't watched Chimpanzee, I would recommend it. So that is my update for days 9 through 11, and we only have 3 more days to go left on the readathon, and I have still a ton of books on my list, but like I said, if I don't get them all read, that's not a big deal. But I'm off this weekend, so hoping to get a lot read. So I hope you guys are having a great August so far, and I will talk to you later. Bye!
Busted!